This book, as the title plainly tells, is about beasts, banshees, and bogeymen of Liverpool and Merseyside. What about the beasts of our title? Well, most of the mundane local history books do not contain any reference to the werewolf of Speke Hall, nor do the tourist guide books mention the beast of Bold Street, the Devil's Bridge, or the black elves of Bloody Acre. And no National Trust sightseeing handbook would advertise the incubus of Edge Lane, the hellhound of Formby, or the gargoyle of Crosby. But this book certainly will, and also explore possible explanations for the purported sightings and encounters. As unbelievable as it may seem, within the staid and sober log reports of Merseyside police are to be found copious descriptions of some rather exotic and dangerous out-of-place animals and other beasts that are roaming our county. Police officers in recent years have been called out by the public in response to sightings and encounters with black panthers, lions, pumas, and leopards. Here are just a few of these reports which came to light thanks to the Freedom of Information Act. A puma being hunted by a police patrol after it was seen by scores of people roaming the 13th hole at Wirral Ladies Golf Club, Bidston Road. The big cat even left its paw prints on the green. A panther on the loose near Houghton Park Lane, seen by many people, including an expert on wild animals who was once employed by Chester Zoo. 2 golden lions seen cavorting around Southport's Mill Lane. An enormous black panther seen darting between the rocks of Egremont Promenade in Liskeard. A puma that narrowly missed being knocked down by a lorry as it bolted across the M58. A leopard that was seen running up Bold Street at 6 a.m. chasing pigeons. And a 6-foot-long panther that was seen slinking down the Loop Line, a disused train line linking Knowsley to Sefton. There is a supernatural aspect to all of these big cat reports, in that none of them were captured, despite in some cases the police helicopter being deployed to track them down. Of course, Merseyside isn't at all unique as regards to these big cat sightings. We only have to look at long-standing mysteries such as the Surrey puma and the beast of Bodmin. But the beasts of Merseyside are not all cats. Some are much more outlandish than that. The banshee is deemed a mere folklore character by most students of the paranormal. But I know better, as I have actually seen one with my own eyes and heard one as well. The name banshee is derived from the Gaelic words Beanside, meaning women of the Shee, or the fairy folk. Many years ago in the 1980s, I went to post a letter one night and took my dog Leo out with me, as he'd had virtually no exercise that day. As I passed an alleyway off Chatsworth Street, Edge Hill, I was startled to see a young woman crouched down on the pavement in the fetal position, with her knees drawn up to her face, which was bowed down and hidden by her long raven black hair. Her clothes were all black, as well as her pointed shoes, and she was making a low, mournful sound. My dog wasn't at all keen on the stranger, and his ears, which were usually upright and pointed, lay flat against his head, and the hair on his back reared up in a tuft. Leo was a muscular little dog, and he darted off, yanking me away from the crying woman. I went to post the letter in the pillar box, which was on the corner just down the road, and when I returned a few minutes later, the woman was gone. I told my mother about the sobbing girl, and she glanced at the clock and said to me, "So, when you saw her, that would have been about 10:40 p.m. I nodded. The next day, Mother and I learned that a woman with an Irish surname had passed away at that very time, 10:40 p.m., and the crying lady in black had been sitting very close to the deceased woman's home. My mother told me I had seen a banshee, which was very rare, as they were heard more than they were seen. On an earlier occasion, when I was about 12, I was sleeping over at a school friend's home in Myrtle Gardens, a tenement on the border of Edge Hill and Tuxtiff. I slept top to tail in my friend's bed, but didn't get that much sleep during my stay because he was a fantastic storyteller who had a seemingly unending supply of strange tales.